truly believe in the magic.
What's up, Magic fans? Welcome to Orlando Magic UK's weekly podcast, Penny for Your Thoughts. I'm joined, as always, with Mr. Mikey Clark and Paul Bacon. Before I ask how you are, guys, I hear you've had a few crying incidents this week. So do you want to elaborate on your situation?
Do we have to talk? Do we have to talk about a 7-0 drubbing? Really? There's no need to bring that one up. That is just cruel. You can't start a podcast like that. Hey, mate, how you doing? How did you enjoy your 7-0 loss? That's just wrong.
Well, it's better than being close to relegation in the Championship. So you've got that.
Yeah, close to relegation in the Premiership just feels so much better.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right, I'm not talking to you the rest of the night.
Mikey, you've got over your little crying incident?
Well, Paul seems to think because I had my booster this afternoon, that's why I was crying. But it was more to do with my car and BMW wanting to spank me by 800 quid to have a couple of batteries fitted. So, yeah, I'm more crying because it's close to Christmas and I've got to find a nice sum of cash. But apart from that, I'm all right.
Good stuff.
To be fair, mate, you did sit there saying, she really hurt me. She really hurt me. She stabbed me. It really hurt.
She did make me bleed, though. I'll give you that.
She gave you a plaster?
She did not give me a plaster. She just turned around and she goes, "Oh, it's bleeding." And that was it. And I was like, "Oh, great, thanks. I'll stop it myself then."
Yeah.
Get a sticker.
Cool.
I didn't get a sticker. I didn't even get a little sweet or anything, honestly. It's terrible.
But other than those incidents, you both good, though, yeah?
All right, mate. Yeah, sound. All
good
well here, pal. You?
Good stuff. Yeah, well, good here, mate. So I can't complain. It's nearly Friday. So, but let's move on. We are delighted to be joined this week by Conall Lacy, who is the fourth member of Orlando Magic UK, who's going to be helping us with all our social media accounts, specifically Instagram and TikTok, because us old-timers don't really know how to use it, let's be honest, do we? Other than Paul with his flossing moves. But, yeah. So, welcome, Conall. How are you, mate? You good?
I'm good, yeah. I'm really excited to be a part of this. I mean, you say with the Instagram and the TikTok, what I found is I'm in a race against the Orlando Magic social media admin for a TikTok. Because, I mean, I had one in my drafts the other day. It was going to be a, classic TikTok trend. I'm not sure how much, if I explain to you guys, you might get onto it. But, and then anyway, open up my For You page. First thing, Orlando Magic have made the exact same TikTok that I've just been making. So it's a race against time, definitely, with the Orlando Magic social media admin. But no, it's a really, really fun thing to be a part of. And I'm really happy to be joining you guys today.
Good stuff. And just a bit of background. You're a Liverpool fan. So we've got two Liverpool fans on the same podcast. So, Paul, it's me and you against them. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, mate? Okay, just me.
So I'm currently studying at Northumbria University. I'm actually representing the kit right now. I'm up there. I'm in my second year doing sport management. I'm mainly involved in football, so I do a lot of football coaching. I do a bit of work for the FA, stuff like that. But basketball is something that I've always really enjoyed, but I've never really kind of found a way to work that into any sort of kind of more formal setting. And then formal setting, I'm here talking to you guys now. It depends what you're classing as a formal setting. But no, I thought this is kind of a perfect way to, take my interest that step further and see, where it might lead me in my, career potentially one day.
Awesome. Good stuff. No, we're glad to have you. So we'll just get to some Magic news before we get to the guest section, where we'll find out a little bit more about your Magic fandom, etc. So first of all, if you haven't listened to the podcast from Monday, we were fortunate enough to have Greg Anthony join the podcast. And it was quite an episode, wasn't it, guys? It was a good hour of talking and a lot of good stuff coming from Cole's father. So, yeah, be sure to check that out. On to injury news. Nothing changed. It's changed with Markel Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, Michael Carter-Williams, Jalen Suggs and Etwan Moore. Mo Bamba and Gary Harris were additions to the injury list after last night's game against Atlanta. I believe they're day-to-day, but be sure to check Paul's previews for all the latest on the injuries. Stephen Curry, which I know Paul's a massive fan of, surpassed Ray Allen.
You can't hate genius.
No, G can hate a genius. G
can, yeah.
G's just
he's
a hater.
Good player. He's a good player. He's a good player. But he doesn't play for our team, so there we go. So like I said, he surpassed Ray Allen with the most threes made, draining his second 3-ball on Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden. Orlando Magic UK community member Ollie Law was there. So Ollie was lucky enough to see a bit of history. And he sent a video, didn't he, to our little group.
He was right behind the shot as well, wasn't he, when he went in?
He was, yeah.
It was low down as well. He had a good view of that. He was very lucky.
He did. Really good position for that. It's just, the guy is brilliant. And, I was really jealous of Ollie to actually be there to witness something like that. It's going to be a long while before that's bettered.
Yeah.
Well, Cole Anthony, maybe about 15 seasons.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You did watch last night's game.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to that later.
Everybody can have a bad night. Everybody can have a bad night.
Gee, before we move on, I want to find out why you hate Steph Curry so much.
I don't hate him. I don't like.
That's not what you said in our WhatsApp group the other day.
He's just annoying. His little shimmy shake. He's just, I don't know. He doesn't play for us. So I've got, he's a good player. So we'll leave it at
that annoying little shimmy. And
only shimmy shake if you play for the Magic. That's the rule. Only shimmy shake if you're a Magic player. Good man, Conall. You tell him, mate. You won't catch me shimmy shaking. No chance.
Hey, we might find Paul on TikTok doing a shimmy shake.
Maybe
that's it. That's it. I should be practicing for Connell's next video.
Yeah. Shimmy shaking a floss. That'll run up the views for sure.
And the Magic. And you won't have any problem with the Magic beating you to that one, Conall.
No, probably not. No, I should be okay. I should be in the clear.
So the next bit of news, COVID, unfortunately, is rife in the NBA, with the Chicago Bulls having had a few games cancelled this week. A few LA Lakers have also gone down with it, and I believe a few of the Brooklyn Nets, who we play on Saturday, they've been given some sort of exception to sign a few players. And I did see that Langston Galloway, the Magic killer, has signed for them. So he no doubt will be suiting up for the Nets on Saturday. The last bit of news is the NBA released a list on Tuesday. Well, not the NBA, the ESPN did. Right, where did I put that note? And essentially it ranked the top 75 jerseys of all time. Okay, so you've got your City jerseys, everything going back since ever. So the Magic featured 3 times on it, okay? So I've spoken to Mikey about this, so he can't jump in and try and guess which one's got where, right? So the Magic placed in 3 positions. So the first position was in 4th place, 4th best out of everything. Then you've had the 33rd place and then the 71st. So let's just go between Conall and Paul and see if we can guess which jerseys ended up where, okay? And then we'll just have a little bit of a chat about the top 5. So, any guesses on what ended up 4th?
I mean, I guess it's really subjective, isn't it? Because I think that one of my favourite all-time Magic jerseys is actually the one that Paul's got on now. I thought when they did that only a few seasons ago, I thought that was nice. But there's no way that one so recent ranks so high. I think there's a lot of kind of nostalgia bias in there. So you may be looking at something back from 95 sort of time as a higher up one. I don't know, Paul, what do you think?
I would be going sort of a blue pins like this. Yeah.
So you would both be correct in that was number 4 on the list. So obviously that's City Classic. Was a remake of the 95 blue road jersey, which was 4th. So in 33rd place. Do you want to?
Again, I'm tempted by the McGrady Star one that we've.
That was what I was going to go for. Yeah,
But I tell you what, Conall, we both agree. Let's go with that one.
Let's do it,
Mikey.
Yeah. Tracy McGrady.
Mikey,
What?
You know what it is.
I'm not saying. I'm going to let you guys guess it.
Okay, so in fact, it was the black pinstripe, the road pinstripe from 1989 through 1997.
Right, okay.
So a lot of people thought that might have been the top one over the blue, but I think we're all, more fans of the blue one. And in 71st place, you may have already said it.
I'm going to say we're sticking with it, Conall.
Yeah, I'll stick that.
The Blue Stars jersey. So interestingly enough, Mikey's already had a chat with me about this, so I feel like I've disincluded him here. But can you guess what the top 3 were ever?
One of them must be the Raptors jersey.
And that is exactly what we said. Yeah.
The purple Raptors jersey has got to be up there. But number 1, that's for me. And then in terms of the other ones, it's hard because you've got to kind of put yourself in the mind of the people that are making this list. Because if they put a Lakers or Celtics jersey up there, that's probably going to do their list more favours in terms of who's going to agree with it, because, they've got 2 of the biggest fan bases. So I don't think it personally, but I think ESPN would have put a Lakers jersey up there.
He's good, isn't he? He's good.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to get into the mind.
It's going to be, isn't it?
It's got to be about 2000-2001 season Lakers jersey, maybe. And then
they've got the 78 and 99 LA Lakers Showtime jersey, which I believe is the quote gold or yellow, if you want to call it. Yeah. Have you got a bucket there, Mikey?
Yeah, I think I need one. I might need another one in a minute.
Yeah, right. Do you want to try for number 2? You're on the right lines.
So what? Number 2 is not the Raptors, no.
No, it's not. I believe the Raptors may have been about 15.
That's very controversial.
It's an iconic jersey.
Yeah,
we can hold our hands up to that. Yeah. I mean, maybe if it would have gone to a fan vote, I think that would have won. I mean, if you're saying them along the right lines, is it a Celtics jersey?
It is the Celtics jersey. That classic jersey they've had since 1901, as Elliot Wade from Hoopin' and Luton so eloquently put. So, it's the green Boston Celtics classic jersey.
Well, if that's how they're deciding it, 3rd must be a Knicks jersey or something, because if we're just going by ranked of fan bases...
It's not a Knicks jersey, but
I would have gone with the Bulls Jordan.
Yes. So it's not a ranking of jerseys at all. It's just a ranking of popularity, and we came 4th, so that's okay.
We came 4th.
Yeah,
that's it. And then in 5th was the Denver Nuggets sort of mountain. You know, the Alex English jersey from the 80s.
Yes,
that one. Interesting for me. I like the Sonic Space Needle jersey from the 90s. That ended up 70.
What?
Shocking.
Who made this list? ESPN.
I don't know. Someone might be getting a P45 in the morning. Anyway. Right, so moving on. Just plug time. So please support today's episode and visit Fanatics UK and our affiliate links in the description. Shop officially licensed sports jerseys, merchandise and fan apparel, including NBA, NFL, MLB and all football and rugby that are available. This also includes international delivery. Please use our code MAGICUK10 at the checkout for 10% off your order. Please note some exclusions do apply. Right, that's out the way with. So let's get on to knowing Conall a little bit more. So, mate, tell us how long you've been a Magic fan and how it started.
So I must have technically been a Magic fan since 2008 because I moved out to Orlando and I lived out there for 4 years between 2008 and 2012. And in the timeline of being a Magic fan, obviously 2008 was, not the worst time to start. I was young at the time, but there was obviously a lot of buzz, a lot of hype around what the team were doing. And I kind of got into it then. I also went to school with a couple of the players' kids when I was over there. So I kind of was just immersed in it throughout any kind of choice, really. It was a big thing when I was over there. And then I moved back in 2012, kind of fell off it a bit, but we go back there on holiday every year. And we'd always go to a few games, like me and my family, sometimes with my friends that I've still got over there. And I'd kind of forgot what a fun sport it is to watch. Like, obviously, you say Mikey and I are Liverpool fans, we all watch football. But in terms of the entertainment and enjoyment that I get from watching a game, I much prefer to watch a basketball game. So I kind of fell back in love with it, if you will. And obviously, I wasn't going to change what team I supported. I was a Magic fan. I'd had Magic jerseys since I was a kid. So I was always going to be a Magic fan. And then, just kind of got more and more into it. I'm a uni student, so my sleep schedule is not amazing. So I stay up to watch quite a few of the games. And then I thought, I might as well see what else there is to do. And I ended up giving this a go. But yeah, my life is very Magic orientated. I've got a few Dwight Howard posters on the wall there, which is controversial probably. But the photos are cool to have. But yeah, it's from being in Orlando, really. I support my local team, which not many people can say they do in basketball.
Absolutely. So who did you go to school with there, Conall?
Well, if I'm going to name drop, Jason Williams' son, he was in my class, and then Jameer Nelson's kids and Shaq's kids as well. So, yeah, there was some famous, and then there was me, who's now sitting here trying to use it as my claim to fame on the Penny for Your Thoughts podcast.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm sure they're tuning in. If you're watching, hi guys, it's been a while.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Good stuff. So what's your so it might be a slightly obvious question, but what's your favourite moment being a Magic fan?
Well, I'm not sure what you're thinking of. My favourite moment being the Magic fan, there's more than one of us, a Magic fan, was probably the DJ Augustine shot against Toronto in the playoffs a couple of years back, because I was in Orlando at the time. I know the game was obviously over in Canada, but I was in Orlando and I was in my hotel, and there were a few of the Magic fans in the hotel. And normally when I watch a Magic game, it's by myself because my family aren't really into it, or like with a housemate who maybe has a bet on it, so they only really care about the result of their bet more than the game. But watching that shot go in with actual Magic fans around me was something that I'd not really experienced before, and it was a cool moment. That kind of split second where I thought, what's going on? I mean, obviously they went on to win the championship, but like, what's going on here? Like, maybe we could do something, because obviously we had the team then was competing more than it was now, and there's always a little bit of hope. There's a possible underdog story there, and given it being game one as well, I thought, if we win one game on the road, win one of the two games on the road, then we can take it back. It might, give us a chance. But that moment of hope was probably my best moment so far.
So how old were you when you moved out there? When you said you were out there in 2008? I
must have been 6 or 7.
So you were pretty young then when the Magic went to the finals. Yeah.
And I moved back when I was 10. I was young, but I can't, because my dad went to a couple of playoff games. And I just remember there being, obviously I was so young that I can't remember any of the details of it, but there's just been a lot of excitement around the place, which is, similar things to hear, like when, Liverpool are doing well, the city feels good. Yeah. And I even though I was young, I do remember that when I was over there. Yeah.
Did you go to game 3 and 4 of the playoffs?
No, I didn't. We went back from holiday because I wanted to go and watch Six Man Show. I think maybe it's Six Man Show. It must have been, because they do a lot of things at Harry Buffalo, don't they? They were doing a watch party down at Harry Buffalo, I think, and I wanted to go there, but we were doing something on the night, so I couldn't go in the end. But I didn't manage to get to the games. I normally go to a game or two when I'm over there, depending on what the schedule's like. But yeah, I didn't manage to get to those, unfortunately.
So, mate, what games? How many have you been to? A lot of games?
Yeah, I've been to quite a lot, because obviously the tickets are quite cheap, especially when you're up in the gods, the nosebleeds, as they say. But I used to go sometimes with my dad, because obviously this isn't obvious. I have a younger brother and sister, so they wouldn't have wanted to stay up for anything like that. But if the game was on, like, my dad would take me down on like a random weekday sometimes. and we go back once a year. So every time we'll go to a game if possible. But like I say, I was over there for 4 years. I went to quite a few. I've been to some since we've gone back. So I've been to a decent amount, yeah.
Any favourite games? Any particular favourites? Standout moments that you were there for?
Yeah, I was there for when we set our first half points record in 2018, 19. I think we played the Hawks. Someone can correct me, but it was definitely when we set the first half points record. Okay. We put up like 70 something in the first half.
Yeah.
And my brother and I, for my birthday Christmas present, we got tickets on the floor. So I was able to experience that in like a really, really cool setting because I'd never sat anywhere near like that before. So to be there for that was probably my favourite moment.
That's superb. That's brilliant.
Cool. So you've already probably told us the answer to this one, but what's your favourite Magic ever put players in there of all time and why?
Well, my favourite Magic player of all time has got to be Hino Turkoglu. When I was younger, there was just something that drew me to him, and I'm not sure why. I tweeted a photo of me in his jersey the other day when I was a lot younger for Jersey Day. I don't know why. I was really, really drawn to him and his game. Something about it. I wasn't old enough to understand the game at all, but it wasn't like Jermaine Nelson or Dwight Howard or anyone that I went for, the obvious ones. I went for Turkoglu, and he just kind of stuck the whole way. So probably Turkoglu for that kind of nostalgia reason. Currently, there's so many to pick from, isn't there? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if it's a bit of an obvious one, but there's a reason it'd be an obvious one. And I'd probably say Cole, because the impact he's having on this team this season is, astronomical. You look at the way that he's carrying the offense, basically, in a lot of our games. I owe it to him for him to be my favourite player. But he's just a fun guy, isn't he? Like, he's hard to dislike. I know, you don't like the shimmy shakes and stuff, but when Cole's doing his interviews and he's acting daft and he's making us all laugh, he's a really likeable guy. And he's just, like, the whole culture of the team, I feel, since it's such a young group, they're all really fun, like really fun to watch, like the way they interact with each other and everything. And I feel like Cole's epitomised that, especially in his interviews after this season. And I think he's a good investment to be my favourite player, because over the next few years I can only see him getting better. And obviously, like his dad agrees, the mentality that he's got is really, really impressive. And I think, if I say he's my best player now, when he's an all-NBA team in a few years' time, well, he's my best player now. So I'm ahead of the curve.
Nice. I noticed that you changed your favourite player on the profile to Cole, Paul.
That was ages ago.
Yeah, it was ages ago.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
it was DJ, wasn't it?
We did that last season.
DJ, DJ wasn't with us last season, was he? So he had to change, right? Current roster. Yeah. I love DJ. I still love DJ. Just could do with him not turning up and hurting us like he did like previous couple of weeks back. But Conall, you've already kind of gone to where I was going to ask you who excites you most on this roster. So I'm guessing that is going to still be the same answer as Cole. So to get the best out of Cole, when everyone is fit, the roster that we've got, who's your starting five? Who are you playing around him to get the best?
Well, everyone's fit. It has to be Cole and it has to be Markel as the backcourt. I mean, it's hard to know what Markel will be like because it's been such a while since he's been out. But I remember that, that stint that he did play for us when he was healthy, he was doing almost kind of what Cole did now, he felt, where he was playing a level above some of the guys that we had. And I feel like those two together, I'm not sure how well they'll pair. I mean, you can only know when you put them together, but it has to be the backcourt because in terms of pure quality, the guys are former number one overall draft pick and the other guys, in my opinion, the most improved player of the season so far. So it would have to be those. And then you can't take a spot away from Franz Wagner after what he's done this season. I mean, the way that, like I say, when it feels like Cole's put the team in his bag, Franz has done the same. I mean, the past few games especially, we seem to be like forcing the offense through them at times because we know the quality that they have. And I think the way that he's kind of overperformed, but we drafted him lower down than some of the other guys. I mean, I guess Scotty Barnes is a good example, but I mean, Jalen Suggs we drafted above him, and I think we can all agree that Franz has had a better start to his NBA career than Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
The stat line he's putting up for a rookie in a struggling team is really impressive. And you look at the rookie ladder, he's already pushing up there. So I mean, it has to be him. Also, but not only for his quality, but for his development as well to continue starting running the team. JI. No question, nothing to be said. I thought the season he got injured, he was on for a defensive team. The way that he was playing, I thought that should have been nailed on, no question. Obviously, it's a real shame what happened to him, but hopefully he can get back. And then at the 5, I'd say Wendell, because as much as I'm a big Mo Bamba enthusiast, I've got his jersey. I've loved him for years. I remember the night we drafted him, I was really excited. But I feel like Wendell offers more consistency than Mo at the 5. I feel like some nights you'll see like a big double from Mo, and he'll look like the best player on the floor sometimes, because I feel like just how big and wide and stretchy he is. Sometimes he just kind of takes my attention away from everything else that's going on in the game. But I feel like Wendell is a safer option at the 5, just from the way that he plays and he's just in my mind. He's gonna give me more security in myself to watch Magic games than Mo Bamba is right now. It's not saying that can't change, but yes, that's my answer. I'm going to go for Markel, Cole, Franz, J.I. and Wendell. I've dragged on a bit there. Sorry.
Solid team.
No,
a solid team. How good do you think they could be together as a 5?
Well, the beautiful thing about it is, we don't have to worry about any of them. Well, hopefully we don't have to worry about any of them regressing in the near future. So you look in a few years' time, and obviously huge Magic fan bias, but I think we've got a former number 1 overall pick, a most improved player contender, rookie of the year contender, someone who was on defensive player of the year, and a really, really solid guy at the 5 who also has proved a little bit that he can shoot the 3 this season as well, which is becoming more and more valuable. I mean, it's a hard one, because if I had my crystal ball in front of me, I'd tell you it. But I think we can be I think if we kind of extrapolate from the starts that they've had to their career, if we should avoid injuries, that's a playoff team in my mind, without any doubt. If they gel together like I think they can, and if their quality complements each other on the floor, playoff team, late playoff team, maybe we need them to turn into real stars, because you can see the potential for it, but we need them to kind of turn into real stars who can kind of take over games and win it by themselves.
I'll take that, mate. I'm happy with that.
I'd be happy with that as well.
100%.
Yeah. So you've touched upon your favourite jerseys, mentioned the turquoise ones. Have you got many jerseys, and whatever Magic merchandise, the best ones you've got?
I was going to stick some of it on, but all of it's at home, and I'm at uni, so I just kept this on from earlier. I've got the first orange jersey that we got a couple of years back. I've got an Aaron Gordon one of those, so I don't really touch that. That kind of stays in the cupboard. I've also got a Mo Bamba one from blue one from the season that he was drafted, and then that turquoise one, which is a bit small for me now. But it makes me look big if I wanted to put it on. But yeah, I've got those 3. I've got tracky bottoms. I've got a quarter zip, just a grey one. I've got a hat. I've got sweatband and sweatbands around my wrist as well.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to suit up and full Magic gear, I could probably walk on the floor and no one would know any different.
Oh, good man.
Apart from the fact that I'm 5'10", maybe that would give something away. But I'd look the part.
Nice.
Mate, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with looking the part.
No. You'll fit in right. You fit in very well, mate. Right, let's move on to last week's games. I'll just give you a quick recap in case you did switch off at any point. So on Saturday night, we played the Los Angeles Clippers. We lost 106 to 104. Game went down to the wire with Terrence Ross missing a short 2-point shot at the horn. Cole Anthony had given us a chance tying the game late in the last minute. He led scorers with 23 points. Wendell Carter Jr. got 14 rebounds, 7 assists. But unfortunately, we dropped it. The following night, we played the LA Lakers. I'm probably going to keep this one even shorter. We lost 106-94. Cole scoring 21 points. I can't leave it short, can I? Because in fairness, we played very well for 3 quarters. I've got to mention this. A 23-0 run in the third broke a 56-55 Magic lead and resulted in a 78-56 Laker lead. LeBron just turned it up, didn't he, in fairness? But in fairness, the other 3 quarters, we were very good, competitive. So you can't really complain on, for a developing team. And then the last game was last night's encounter with Atlanta. We lost 111-99. Mo Wagner led the way with 19 points. Wendell finished with 15 rebounds and Terrence Ross with 8 assists. We were playing without Gary Harris and Mo Bamba. So, guys, just thoughts on the week? Any positives? Any something you didn't like, etc. I'll just go round the table. Mikey.
You really summed it up, didn't you, by saying that we keep having these games where we're having a quarter, we're having stretches in a quarter where we are really struggling to score the ball. When you look at the Clippers game, we only scored 14 in the second quarter. I think we only scored 10 in the third against the Lakers. Those are the quarters that are killing us. And we still had a chance to win the game against against the Clippers. We didn't expect a lot against the Clippers or Lakers, especially in a back-to-back. We thought we'd be competitive, and we were for stretches, but we just find these stretches where we just cannot score the ball, and then we just can't stop the bleeding on the other end as well. And bad offense leads to bad defense in stages as well. So, Atlanta was better as a more consistent scoring night. I think we scored 20-something in all 4 quarters, but Trae Young set the tone early in the first quarter for the Hawks, and we were playing catch-up then for the rest of the night, weren't we? But, disappointing week, but it's what me and Paul predicted.
I knew there would be a silver lining there for you and Paul, wasn't there?
It is a very, very thin silver lining, though.
It is. How about you, Conall?
I mean, what I kind of had in mind to talk about this was these quarters that we seem to have where when you look at the box score for the game, you think, okay, we're competing. And then there's a 10-point quarter where we've been outscored by 20 points sometimes. And I think that the way that we've been careless and we've turned the ball over on offense must be, I mean, like you say, it leads to, we then bleed on the defense. So we turn the ball over carelessly on offense. And it's a young team who are still kind of learning how to, be playing at this level with guys who've been in the league for, decades now. So they're turning the ball over and they're thinking, oh, God, what am I doing? We need to hustle back. And then we're letting points go on the other end. And then it's becoming a bit of a vicious cycle, which seems to happen in these quarters. We'll get to the end of the quarter and then, Mose will calm them down and he'll give them whatever, wisdom he gives them. I'm not sure. But it does seem to be those periods of the game where sometimes I'll look at us and we're playing a team like the Clippers or the Lakers and I'll think, here we are. Like, you think you're the Clippers or the Lakers, we're giving you a real game here. And we're keeping it tight. But then we just go through a spell where you think, why are we doing this again? Like, it's like you just feel like when the ball goes up, it's not going to go in. And you get that feeling throughout the quarter. And then it's over, and then there's no way back for it. We need to find a way to keep the consistency that we are finding through quarters. That's a negative. A positive that I might take from the week, which I've alluded to earlier in the podcast, is Cole and Franz specifically, because we've got a rookie and a guy who's in his second year who are putting an NBA team on their back at times, which you never see happen. But, you look at the stat lines, you look at what they're averaging, and you watch the games, you see the way that the offense is trying to move through them all the time, which is why I think having Markel especially back in the team is going to give us a completely different options that we can split it 3 ways rather than these two, because they know, even though they are really talented guys, they're young, and the offense have shown, the opposition's defense have shown they know how to shut them down. But it's obvious that because we know they're our 2 most reliable scoring options that we're going to use them. So even though it's a positive that they're taking on such a big role at such a young age, it can be found out. But still, I'm so happy with those guys. Even like, these past couple of weeks, it's not been, this season, it's not been a great run of results, but still, that's definitely a positive that you can take.
Definitely. Paul?
Well, I think enough's been said about that third quarter against LA, except I did find the stat of Orlando's 2 of 23 shooting in that third quarter is the worst percentage by a Lakers opponent in a quarter since 1999. That's horrendous. It shows how bad it was. And yet we still gave them a game. We still were there. And that's where I'm going to go. This team doesn't know when it's beaten. The positivity, the fight that they've got, the belief that they've got in one another and working together. That's where I'm going to go with it for the week. The other thing I really enjoyed this week, loved Robin Lopez owning Dwight Howard. Really like that. Really like that. I thought Robin Lopez played really well. His contribution against Lakers, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists and a block. But he really gave Dwight Howard a solid, hard game. Very impressed. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Spirit. Even against, I don't think any of us really expected much from the Atlanta game last night. They're coming off an 11-day, 5-game road trip out west. Okay, there's not necessarily a huge amount of travelling involved, where in a couple of days that, it's not that far from from San Francisco to LA, and you had several days in LA, but it's an 8-hour difference when you're flying back. 5-hour difference? 5. I think it's 5, isn't it? So there's still fatigue. You're still in a hotel room. There's still going to be an effect of that travelling on you. So I don't think any of us really expected a huge amount from the Atlanta game last night. There was always going to be some hangover from it, and I think we saw that. It was a bit lackluster, but even so, the team still had spirit and were trying and playing for one another. That's a hell of a place to build from.
Yeah, and in fairness, Greg Anthony said that on Monday on the pod. He said when we get back in Orlando, the first game is normally going to be a struggle as they, get acclimatized back to home surroundings, etc. So for me this week, one thing I've been, you guys have mentioned all the positives, so I'll just flip it a little bit.
It comes
one criticism. No, it's not. No, the officials have been. Wow, I can't complain about the officials. Is defending the 3-point line. I've been so frustrated with defending the 3-point shot. Okay, teams move the ball well and they get the good open shot, but at times it feels that the effort isn't there to stay up on your man. We saw Luke Kennard go off on us. We've seen Andrew Wiggins the week before last go 8 of 10. Luke Kennard's a good 3-point shooter. Wiggins isn't. I don't know. I just get a little bit frustrated at times. But we haven't got a full roster, so I'll give them that. But that's my only quibble, I suppose. We're just getting absolutely annihilated on the 3-point shot. Does anyone agree with that?
Yeah, the three's been a problem, mate. I think actually, if you look, it's been more of an issue since Jalen went out as well. Mm. Since he's been out, that's been a stat that's getting worse. I didn't realise that he was defending the 3 points so well, but clearly he was forcing people to pass the ball and move it away from the position where they're now getting shots. We are worse since he's gone out. Which
I think we're second or third overall in the league opponent field goal 3-point percentage. I think I heard the other day, and I can't imagine it's gone any better after last night's game against the Hawks. Anyway, right, moving on. So as Mikey's been smiling through all this with his 0-3 prediction. So Mikey and Paul both got it right last week with 0-3. I went 1-2. So Paul has taken the lead in our weekly prediction.
Don't worry, folks. Normal service will be resumed. I will be back in Wooden Spoon position soon.
we'll get to the week ahead in a second. But just a quick recap. Magic Moments is still going on. We've gone through 29 games. At the moment, Paul and Mikey are currently tied 5th with 82 points. There's another Paul who's leading the way. I can't remember. I think he's got about 88 points. I'm in second, 86. Ross Midland's 84th, and Callum Dixon is in 4th with 83 points. So, keep playing that, guys, and keep climbing the table. Right, so the week ahead. So tomorrow night, we've got Star Wars night, as was mentioned by Jeff Turner on last night's telecast. So that is a midnight tip. We then travel to Brooklyn on Saturday night, so Sunday morning, which is a midnight tip-off on the road. And then we will face the Toronto Raptors Monday night, again, 12:30 on the road before we record our next podcast. I believe it's next Thursday, guys.
It is.
I want to say that. Okay, so let's go to predictions. So we'll let Conall go first. I think we'll fare, mate, in the 3 games.
I want to. It's a way between optimism and realism here, because I'd love to think that we can do more than I actually believe that we can. I'm gonna go for 1 and 2, and I think the game will be in Toronto, because there'll be something about the Scotty Barnes game that, obviously before the draft there was a lot of talk about him between Magic fans and Raptors fans. Definitely on social media, there's been a lot of debate. Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs, stuff like that. I feel like I've got a good feeling we'll go up there and we'll take a win. Obviously, Brooklyn is Brooklyn, and I think we just have to be honest about that. I mean, they've got, in my opinion, the best player in the world right now. I think to be able to do anything against him is going to be really, really tough. So yeah, I'm going to go 1 and 2 for this week.
Okay, cool. Mikey?
I'm also going to go 1 and 2 this week. And I was actually going to go the same with Conall, but I want to be different. So I'm going to say we're going to beat the Heat on Star Wars night. And
battling the evil empire.
Yeah. And we're all eagerly anticipating Fultz to make a return. And I just wonder whether this might be the game to bring him back. I think we might see Fultz this week. And I think if we can see him against the Heat on Friday, then that might give us a bit of a lift. We're not expecting him to play a lot of minutes from the start, but just him suiting up is going to give everyone a bit of a boost. And especially with the injuries, I mean, Gary Harris is hurt again. So we need to plug some gaps. So yeah, let's beat Miami. And then I think we'll lose the 2 road games.
Paul?
I am tempted to say that we could beat Miami. No Oladipo, no Adebayo, no Jimmy Butler. Markieff Morris is out. Caleb Martin, Tyler Hero's day to day.
We're definitely beating the Heat.
Hang on. Markieff Morris is still out from that shoulder charge, is he?
He's mate. He missed last night's game. Yeah. You look at their starting unit last night was Kyle Lowry, Gabe Vincent, PJ Tucker, Duncan Robinson, and former Magic favourite Dwayne Dedman. But they still pulled out the result against Philadelphia with that unit, and every one of those starters scored double figures. Sorry. So to be different, 0-3. We're not taking anything this week.
Love the optimism, Paul.
Right, I do believe we've got a good chance against Miami. But
and I'll say this as well: Cole was due a big game because he did not play well last night.
Bounce back game.
So
bounce back. Good players don't have 2 on a row.
Yeah.
Head or heart? Right. Heart. 1 and 2. Beat Brooklyn. because Brooklyn are missing a lot of players as well.
They are.
Whilst they have Durant, Harden, obviously Kyrie's doing Kyrie things, and they're bringing in. Okay, they brought in Langston Galloway, who goes off on us, and it is on the road. I can see us potentially taking one game this week, and like you guys have just discussed about Miami, they're not fighting fit. I think Brooklyn are potentially beatable if we get it together. And Toronto, they're not all that, to be honest. They've got some decent players, but it's the NBA. Any team can beat any team on any given night. So I will also go 1-2. And just to be different from the other two, I will say we'll beat Brooklyn. So let's lock those in
for the tie break.
Yeah, yeah. And it means you've got to come on next week, Paul, and tell Dante and George that you went 0-3.
I'm voting tactically. I've got no problem on that.
And you're winning.
Look, every time last season, I was the one that was constantly going positive. And where was I? Last place by some distance. This season, I'm embracing the tank.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Gosh.
Right. So,
no,
magic
I'm not.
trivia time.
I hate the tanking.
It's no fun, is it?
It's not at all. I don't want to watch them to lose. I want to see them win.
I need to unfollow Tankathon on Twitter, actually, because now's just not the time of year to be getting tweets from Tankathon. I'll follow them back a bit later down the road, but it's just because one came up last night and I was tempted. I thought, should I just see what the odds are? And too soon.
You don't need to. We're second. We got the best odds at the moment.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's all you need to know. I think we're half a game back at Detroit for last place in the league, aren't we, at the moment?
I think we've won one more and lost two more than them.
I think so.
If I'm correct,
and then,
we've lost 12 more, I think.
Absolutely correct. 5 and 24 for us, 4 and 22 for them.
Yeah.
And then I think there's like a 4-game gap between us and OKC.
Yeah. 8 and 19 they are.
So, yeah. Wow. Don't need Tankathon to tell you anything.
No,
I'm just.
That's all you need to know.
Leave that website alone. Yeah.
We just need the basketball gods in June or whatever, July, whenever it is. Right, magic trivia time. You look happy, boys.
Whoop, whoop.
Right,
ready.
So I've got a couple of topical questions, but I also have Who Am I, which I was having a look on Facebook, and it was a magic group, and Nick Maurice actually put this on, and I struggled with this, so I thought I'll just share it. So shout out to him. So I'm stealing it from him. So this player, okay, is an NBA Hall of Famer and top 75 player. Okay, you're not going to get it from that unless 75 to 1 shot. He played for the Magic for 1 season.
Dominique Wilkins.
Jesus, Mikey.
Get in.
Let everyone else have a chance.
Get in.
It's fine by me.
Right, next.
I'll finish it off, right? He never won an NBA championship. His first ever title was the EuroLeague championship. He played for Atlanta, the LA Clippers, Boston, San Antonio, and Orlando. And he won the EuroLeague championship with Panathinaikos in 95-96. That can go in the bin. Right.
Keep the podcast short, Mikey. Well done.
Yeah,
Not running over today.
Okay. With Steph Curry making headlines this week, obviously. Can you tell me who, after Curry, the longest active consecutive run with at least one made 3-point field goal in the NBA? And I feel like Conall knows this. So hold that thought, young man.
Okay, yeah, I'm done.
Hold that thought, young man, just to see if these two old codgers can...
Hey, you're older than me, son. What are you
I know. We're in the same
older than the hills, so I'm not joining this conversation.
So Steph Curry has made 152 consecutive games with at least one 3-point field goal made. So Connell's been watching NBA on TNT, obviously.
I have. I think so.
And the next best has made consecutive threes in 40 games. So, any ideas?
What?
Well, I'm just going to put it out there based on the first sound that came out of Connell's mouth.
Yeah, that's where I was going with as well.
Is it Lou Williams?
No.
No.
I've got a feeling it got mentioned. Is it Luke Kennard when we played them?
No, it's not.
No?
Go on, Conall.
Is Lou Dort the correct answer?
Wow.
Correct answer.
Embarrassing if it wasn't after all that.
Yeah.
I know.
I thought he made quite a few. Yeah.
Oklahoma.
It's surprising. I actually saw the rest of the stats. He's shooting similar percentages, obviously not quite as good, but similar percentages to Steph. And he's only made like 20 less threes this season than Steph, something like that.
Really?
Which is really like, I was shocked when I read it. Yeah. Went undrafted as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Strong player.
My brother is an OKC fan, and he speaks very highly of it. So the last one, right, is the most 3-point field goals made in a season by a pair of teammates. So I've got a top 3 list here, right? So that's combined. So, for example, you had Cole Anthony and Franz Wagner, total season. Okay, so I'll tell you the number, and you can guess the 3. So 525 is first place, then it's 483, then 435. So go on then, tell me the obvious one.
One pairing's got to be obvious, hasn't it?
It's got to be Splash. Yeah.
Steph and Clay.
Okay, Steph and Clay is first with 525 in 2014-15. They're also second in 2012-13 with 483. They're not in third though. So see if you can guess. You might have to go down a rabbit hole, as David Steele would say. For the next one.
Thinking who are the other 3-point shooters? Yeah, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. Who were they pairing up with that might have been able to get those type of numbers?
So if you want a clue, you got to think a little bit close to home.
What?
Miami?
Not Wade and LeBron.
No, home. Not Miami. Home.
We're looking at Orlando then, are we? Really?
We're looking at the Orlando Magic.
Rashad then.
3D.
Hey guys, I went down the rabbit hole. Was it Mikey?
No. Paul. I think Paul's right.
3D.
3D is one of them.
And there's got to be Penny, surely.
Nick.
Think of a better 3-point shooter than Penny, Mike. It's Nick. Penny and Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson made 435 3-point field goals in 95-96 season. So they are third. I know, and you've got to think.
You got to think they probably don't take as many back then either as they do now.
Exactly. So it was the the dawn of the new 3-point era kind of thing.
I saw
Trailblazers.
Somebody tweet out because I think it was before the Atlanta game. Nick was on court shooting threes.
He was. He made 2 or 3.
The tweet was, something along the lines of
Nick made them walk. Now Steph's making them run, or something to that effect.
Something like that. Gave them Nick gave them wings so Steph could fly, or something of that nature. And that's the only reason that it sort of made me think that way. I wouldn't have gone there had it not been for you saying think close to home.
Yeah,
that's an incredible stat.
Good work, G. Got any other questions to make up for that one earlier? It was pretty easy.
No, you spoiled that with me. So you have to wait till next week now. Unfortunately, mate. So that's your 3 for this week. Right. So thank you, Conall, for joining us. I'm sure we'll be having you on many, many times over the course of the season. Now you're part of the team. So did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I had a really good time. It's good fun, isn't it? I know I said it was fun at the start. It's just good fun, really, isn't it? Yeah, I've really enjoyed myself. Yeah, I look forward to coming back.
And you're representing us again shortly after this, aren't you, mate?
Yes, straight after this, 11 o'clock. Yeah, going with the big boys with Kenzie. So yeah, that's something to look forward to as well.
So make sure. I guess that we'll post the link in at some point on our socials. But which one is it called? Is it Sound Off?
Sound Off. Orlando Magic Sound Off.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye out for that as well.
Definitely. So thank you as always for listening and watching. We'll be recording our next episode on the 21st of December, Christmas special with George Galante and Dante Marcatellis. God, I can't speak.
Hey.
George Galante and Dante Marcatelli. I was thinking of the Galante and Dante
because you went in the opposite order to normal. That's what's done you.
It's because I was trying to line up for the Galante and Dante show. George has told us is the correct way. You can find all of our links in the description or on our website, orlandomagic.uk.com. Please subscribe to the podcast and leave us your comments and questions. We all love hearing from you. So from Mikey, Paul, Conall and myself, until next time, go Magic.